Hi, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be painting some poppies, and these are going to be red poppies, but I'm going to try and use some other colors and not just red to try and capture the look of a poppy. So let's get started. I'm going to use some classic reds. I've got my deep red here. Deep Scarlet, I think is what it's actually called. And then I've got my go-tos. I've got my Quinacridone Rose, and then Brilliant Pink, Opera Rose, Jaune Brilliant, which is this peach color, Scarlet Lake, and then Purell Scarlet. I'm also going to grab a couple of yellows. So this is Isoindolin Yellow, Yellow Ochre, and Cadmium Yellow Medium Hue. So I'm just getting a little bit of water on those, letting them soften up so that it will be easier to pick up the color in just a minute. I'm going to do that with some of my greens too. I don't know if I'm going to be using a ton of greens, but I will just soften these up. If you have a little squirt bottle with water, you could just, squirt the water right into the paint. But this works too, to just put a little drop of water on each of the paints. Alright, to start out, I'm going to use a lighter color to kind of block out where I want my poppies to be. So I'm going to use this Jaune Brilliant, which is this like soft peach color. And I'm going to mix in a little bit of this Brilliant Pink. Brilliant Pink is one of my all-time favorites. Okay, and my poppies, I'm going to keep them pretty loose. So I'm just working my brush in a back and forth motion. I'm not really defining any petals because poppies, if you look at them from far away, they look like they're just one continuous petal. I'm going to do the same thing. I've just lightened it up with a little bit of yellow. Then I'll go back in with my peach. I'm using my size 10 round brush. This is my Princeton Velvetouch brush. And here's my Opera Rose that was left over on my palette. And I'm just going to fill my page with these poppies. And notice I'm leaving a little bit of empty space in the center. You could fill in the whole thing just because we are going to go back in with a darker color. But I'm just choosing to leave that open. Okay, and then maybe this one is side facing. Keeping my brush strokes really loose because we're just blocking in the color right now. Alright, and now we're going to go in with our darker colors and try to layer and add more color to these. The important thing is you want to wait for this first layer to dry completely, because if you go right back over the top, everything's just going to bleed together and you're going to lose some of this pretty light color that's happening. So I'm just going to give this another minute. While these are drying, I'm going to try and plan out my colors. So this one where I have a peach base, I'm going to go in with Scarlet Lake, and then a little bit of deep scarlet as well to really bring out that red color. Looks like this one is mostly dry, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here. And I'm going to go in, start with a lighter color. It's always better to start light and then go dark because it's harder to start dark and then go light. So this is my Purell Scarlet. It's more of an orange color, and I've just softened it a little bit with some water. And I'm going to come in here and just kind of block out some areas that would be in shadow. So more toward the center here. And we're not going for photorealism here. This is just playing with color and trying to capture the feeling of a poppy. I'm not going to give myself any pressure to make this 100% photorealistic. So I swapped the color over here and made that a little bit darker. And actually, I'm going to go in with my darker red and just tap in some of that color. Okay, now for this one up here that has a more yellow base, I'm going to go for more of the peach and pink for my next layer. And then I'm tapping in a little bit of red. We'll see how this turns out. Sometimes I think I've got a good idea and it doesn't always come out, but we'll see how this turns out. Now for these pink ones, I think this one down here I'm going to give a lighter center. So that's all I'm going to add for now, because I don't want to add color and then have it all blend into this light center. The key is to just wait in between layers. I'm actually going to go in with my greens now. I grabbed Undersea Green, and I'm going to start adding in some stems here. And I'm changing up the color of these greens too, just a little bit as I go down. I know these leaves are looking really dominant in the composition right now, but I'm hoping that once I add some more layers to these poppies that it'll kind of balance each other out. Like I said, sometimes these ideas, they come together perfectly, and then other times I have to work a little bit. This is going to be one of those times where I have to work a little bit at it, but it's always good to see the process. Alright, I'm going to mix in a little bit of quinacridone rose and come back down here and try and define some more of this poppy. So I'm just being really loose here with this color and just kind of placing it wherever I feel like it needs it. So yours might turn out completely different because of how your color is being placed. So pay attention to, you know, where you've got some holes, where you still need color. I'd love to see what you create. This is a lot more loose than I usually paint on my tutorials, so this is more of a experimental painting. And I'm happy you get to watch my process. Alright, now I'm going to start thinking about adding my dark poppy centers. My instinct says to just use black, but I know that it's not going to look as nice because I've got so many rich colors happening here. I don't want to just put a harsh black in there. I want there to be a little bit of movement and a little more nuance to my color. So I'm mixing several of my dark colors. I've got a French ultramarine. I did mix some black in there, some Payne's gray, and then I'm also going to mix in just a little bit of my quinacridone rose to kind of make it a little more of a purple color. It's still going to look black probably, but I want there to be just a little bit of color nuance. So let's wait for this to dry and then we can go in and add those centers. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this style of tutorial or process video, will you give this video a thumbs up and let me know? Don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Bye!